It is time to play ball here in the South Regional Final. Starting lineups, Marcus Towns, who hit the big game clincher in their win against Nevada. Clayton Custer, Ben Richardson. Dante Ingram had the buzzer beater against Miami, and then Cameron Krudwig make up the starting five for Loyola Chicago. It goes Stokes, Brown, Jada, and Sneed. Four-guard lineup for Bruce Weber with the man in the middle, McCall Mayween. All the anticipation, all the hype. And these two teams, improbable as it may be, they have arrived to this regional final with a chance to go to the Final Four. It has been 55 years for Loyola Chicago since their last Final Four appearance. It's been 54 years for Kansas State since they last went to the promised land in college basketball. And away we go. Loyola Chicago controls the tip. Chris, when you talk about styles here, I think both teams are more comfortable with the particular style of their opponent tonight than they were in their first game here in the South Regional.
Yeah, and I think we're going to have some good matchups starting off inside with Krudwig knocking one down on Mayween. On both teams, we have 4 ball handlers and 1 big guy. You can switch outside on the perimeter, and the big guys are going to bang inside. Should be a fun one.
Kansas State with their win over Kentucky. As I mentioned, they were playing 5 guards on the floor at the same time. At the end of that game, they were in foul trouble, had 3 players foul out, and they took down the 5 seed, the Kentucky Wildcats.
Keep our eye on Ingram. He just twisted his ankle a little bit.
Here's Brown. Made the game-winning shot against Kentucky, unable to hit his first try. 31 wins for Loyola Chicago. That is a program record. A team that just will not go away. And a foul. That's going to be a block as Towns is hit hard.
Most of the time, the style of play depends on who you're playing and the talent. Well, both of these teams can speed up the pace because they can switch all perimeter screen and rolls, and they both have reliable big men, especially if you're Loyola. You got the freshman of the year in the Missouri Valley Conference and Big Krudwig.
Krudwig only played in 13 minutes, got into foul trouble. Here's Custer. He hit the game winner in game 2 in round 2 of this NCAA tournament. Saw that note there. Loyola Chicago has won 3 games for a combined 4 points is the differential. It has been quite the ride for this team from the Missouri Valley. Mayween working on Krudwig. Richardson pulls down the rebound. I think both big guys, both Mayween and Krudwig, are excited about their chance to play more here tonight. Krudwig misses short range.
He'll take those all night, though. That left hand of his is so soft, he can knock those down. But look for Loyola to push the ball today. Half-court defense is so tough in this tournament that you need to push the ball to see if you have an open shot. If not, pull it back out. But why wait and use the whole shot clock to get that same bad contested shot?
Probably going to use the clock often here tonight. Both teams, as Stokes misses the 3. That'll be a far cry from what we saw with Kansas State and Kentucky. Kansas State with 30 fouls in that game as Loyola Chicago turns it over.
But Loyola already had the ball down with 24 seconds on the second half. I do not think these teams will play a slow-down style. That will not happen tonight. Both teams will adjust because they're playing teams with similar skill sets. With 4 guards on each side, you have to push the ball off of rebounds to get open buckets. It makes no sense tonight to go to the end of the shot clock most plays. Wow, that could have been an offensive foul by Stokes.
Here's Sneed, and he'll rattle a 3 home. Xavier Sneed, red hot from 3-point range in the Sweet 16 game. He scored 22 points. Here's Custer, and goes up and over Mayween.
The competition against Kentucky, against both last teams, helped because these guards had to go in the paint and shoot over players that were much taller than them, getting their layups in rhythm. That time you see over the big Mayween knocks it down.
Kansas State with 9 made 3-pointers in their win against Kentucky. Sneed had 5 of those. That is not typically their game. They're about middle of the pack in college basketball as far as 3-point shooting. But that was a friend for them on Thursday. Friendly bounce into the scoring book is Barry Brown Jr., their leader, their heart and soul.
How about the defense Barry Brown Jr. played the other night? He should be playing on West Virginia or Press Virginia, a team like that. He can play defense on the best of them.
Dante Ingram kicks it all the way across. Richardson lines it up and hits a three-pointer. Lisa told you the story about Richardson and Clayton Custer playing their high school ball together. Fantastic story arriving here. That was in Kansas, in Overland Park, Kansas. Blue Valley Northwest. One and done. Secured by Ingram.
Good defense by Custer that time. Good help down by Richardson coming in to try to get the swat and help on the rebound.
Richardson passed it up. Towns will get it set now. Custer, the point guard. Custer actually had a baseball scholarship to Kansas State. Turned it down to play hoops. Good move. Sets up Towns. Marcus Towns had the big three-pointer in the corner. He had the big assist as well in round one to set up Dante Ingram's late game heroics. Barry Brown for three will pull it. Krutwig the board.
And again, Loyola pushing it up, but they're going to pull it back to execute, and that's what you want to do. Keep the pressure on the defense.
Towns with Brown on him. He is their best defender for Kansas State. And the lefty Ingram hits. Timeout. Great start. Loyola Chicago. They've made 4 straight.
Ingram was missing a little bit the other day. He says, not today. We got a chance to go to the Final Four.
It has been the Cinderella South Regional here, and the 11 seed Loyola Chicago, the only team out of the Missouri Valley Conference, and they have a chance to go to the Final Four. Off to a fantastic start. 12 points on the board, Chris. 6 in the paint, 6 behind the arc. Clark Kellogg talked about it on the pregame show. You mentioned it when we hit the air. Layups and threes for Loyola Chicago, and it's got them off to an 8-0 run here to set up that last time out by Kansas State.
And if you're a Loyola fan, you saw Ingram hit that first game winner of the tournament, but the other day he had 2 points. Tonight he has 3 more points tonight already than he did in his last game.
Shot clock down to 4. And here's Brown up high. In and out it goes. And it's run down by Custer. Levi Stockard in the game for the first time. Andre Jackson for Loyola Chicago. Both coaches going small quickly. And how about another 3? Ben Richardson delivers his second strike.
Should not be surprised. All 5 players for Loyola averaging double figures. That's right. What does that mean? That means they love sharing the rock, getting their teammates involved.
That's going to be an offensive foul drawn by Williamson. Loyola Chicago ball. Rocky start for the Cats here in Atlanta. Loyola Chicago extremely efficient. One of the best defensive teams in the country. One of the best shot-making teams in the country. Kansas State hanging their hat on D as well, and they are clutch when it counts late. Loyola Chicago, Chris, has lit the fire early here.
Yeah, and if you're Kansas State, you got to be careful. This team is 28-1 when out shooting opponents. 18-0 when they score 70+. Why does that mean so much? We saw the high field goal percentage, but it's their style of play. Deliberate at the half court, in getting open shots for their teammates, penetrate, kick and drive, get a good bucket. 5
players in double figures this year. They share it well. Loyola on an 11-0 run. They've made their last 5 shots. That's a turnover. McGurl on the floor for the first time. And he comes away with the loose ball.
Custer just looking in there for Jackson. He just kind of telegraphed his pass. Jackson was not ready for that one.
Both of these coaches went small quickly. And they're going to stick with their small lineup. With Stockard in there. Oh, McGurl all the way around on the curl.
But that's what you can do with small lineups. Just because big players aren't in, that means little guards, that means like-sized players have to communicate and switch. It didn't happen that time. That's why you got an easy alley-oop to a guard.
McGurl is a high flyer, freshman out of Ellington, Connecticut. He was a big part in 2 games of this tournament so far for Kansas State. Had a big game against Creighton, scored 17, and then was a huge factor defensively against Kentucky. On the take, there's the reverse layup by Ben Richardson, and we saw a lot of that against Nevada Thursday.
We saw a lot of Loyola's guards using the rim as protection, faking it on one side, laying it up on the other. They love the baseline. Pump fakes out of the 3-point corner and continue to drive the baseline looking for the easy layup.
Loyola Chicago had 21 layups against Nevada. Scored 42 points in their win Thursday. McGurl, shot clock at 3. Back iron. Ingram with a rebound. 10-point Loyola Chicago lead, trying to add to it.
Would like to see Ingram get into the pick and roll and penetrate, because when he does that, his athletic ability allows him to be a double threat. He can finish or find the open man.
Custer probing, and a foul. Barry Brown got him all the way to the basket. Gives us time to check in with Lisa Byington. What do you have, Lisa?
Yeah, Brian, we've seen K-State kind of dig in after that last Bruce Weber timeout. He looked at his guys and he said, settle down, let's all take a collective breath. He tried to simplify their defensive approach, getting back in transition, identifying the shooters. He reminded his guys, look, Loyola has 5 different players who have scored their first 17 points. We can't take plays or players off defensively.
All right, Lisa, good stuff. Thank you. Bruce Weber has been there. He's one of the few in this circuit who has been to this level. Jackson, yes, scores it around May Ween.
So hard to stop a team when every player is a live option.
May Ween catches it deep. They surround him, but too big, scores easily.
Good job by K-State. This is when you reach trouble. K-State, this is their largest deficit of the tournament. Previously, it was 8 against UMBC. How do they come back and handle it now? That time, they did it with some poise in the paint, getting it to May Ween.
See if that timeout by Bruce Weber helps. Took his Illinois Fighting Illini to a national championship game. They came up short back in 2005. Weber was the national coach of the year. That's another turnover. Kansas State trying to cash it in, down 10. Stokes, nifty dribbling, kicks it to Snead. The ball was kicked first, no shot. Ball was kicked by Bruno Skokna. Timeout on the floor. Porter Moser and Loyola Chicago getting a lot of action in the paint so far tonight. They lead by 10. We look at our tournament summary. We have a first here, folks. First time in NCAA tournament history. We match up an 11 and a 9. 2,464 games since seeding began in 1979 to get us to this point. 3 11 seeds have reached the Final Four. All 3 lost in the national semifinal. Loyola Chicago trying to get to the Final Four in San Antonio. Kansas State, will see if they have an answer. McGurl on the attack, had it blocked. Williamson denies.
Kansas State has had to earn all their points on the defensive end. 5 points off of 3 turnovers. Nice block. Great help defense communication by Loyola.
Chada back in. Snead had the big game against Kentucky and scores with a left hand. Xavier Snead, those 22 points, had 9 boards as well, even fouled out in the game. But 5 big threes for Snead. Good pass, Krutwig, Towns finishes.
It's out there when you're overplayed. Let the big fella take a dribble to you, fake to him, back cut. You will usually have a wide open layup.
May Ween misses a 3. Early shot for Kansas State. They get it back. Chada runs it down. It's an 8-0 run now for Loyola Chicago. Here's Snead and Krutwig with the board.
The box out by the big fella in there, Krutwig. You have to communicate on the pick and roll. Custer loves getting to the middle, finding his other players.
Yeah, 8 field goals in a row for Loyola Chicago. Had an 11-0 run earlier, shooting the lights out right now. That's going to be a travel and a turnover.
Big fella just has to trust himself. He played the other day and laid it up over guys much larger than him. You must communicate if you're Loyola, but here again, watch this, denied, back cut. I know Coach Carrill, the head coach of Princeton, all those great years with the back cut, is somewhere watching with the pad in his pocket, writing down plays, smiling right now, saying, I know a little bit about the back cut.
Saw Porter Moser there, Missouri Valley Coach of the Year. He's out of the Rick Majerus tree, was head coach at a couple of stops before he was with Majerus at St. Louis, 7th year now at Loyola Chicago. There's Snead, hits another 3. He's got a little life in him again. Xavier Snead, sophomore out of St. Louis.
Double high screen and roll. You got to watch out for Custer dunking inside.
Towns gives it right back to Custer. Ball's moving well. Here's Williamson now going in. Williamson wiggles some space in the lane.
That was a high double screen and roll that set that up. You were worried about the first and second option. Really, it was the fourth option coming through. The cross swing pass and the duck in by Krutwig, but the layup.
Their shot-making ability is off the charts. They've made 9 in a row currently. They made 13 straight field goal attempts in the second half, starting the second half against Nevada. Ingram pulling the rebound down. He can run the point as well if need be. Custer got up in the air, somehow secured it with Ingram. And now Loyola Chicago will get it organized. Custer now. Williamson, three-pointer is up. Missed badly. Krutwig, rebound. Got it.
When he takes his time in the post, he traveled the last play trying to rush that shot. All he has to do was take his time, get his center of gravity, and flip it with that left. That's so hard to stop.
And a foul as Brown was driving. Foul's going to belong to Custer. We check in with Lisa.
We have yet to see Kansas State's Dean Wade, who again is nursing a foot injury. The only time he's made an appearance against Kentucky Thursday, he played 8 minutes, 0 in the second half. Now I can't tell you that he told me in the warm-ups he is planning on playing, but he warmed up very casually. And in that Kentucky game, Bruce Weber wanted to put him in the final few minutes. Remember, Kansas State was in foul trouble. The athletic training staff told Weber, if you want any hope of trying to play him on Saturday, you cannot put him in at the end of this Kentucky game.
Well, I'm going to change his name. I was going to call him D-Wade after the great flash, but now he's Willis Reed. After helping his team get a win here by just limping out on the court, may win with the easy layup inside, but it just seems with the pace of this game, it's not the game for Wade to come in. You want him to come in, not when it's pressure and his team is down 10, but when he can come in and be a true decoy where players will have to honor him offensively. They won't do that when he's 10 down.
Now we'll see if he does play it all here tonight. Is Ingram around and out? Dean Wade, a first-team All-Big 12 player. That's a significant loss for Kansas State. They've been doing all of this in the tournament without him. He's been dealing with it all year, but finally had to come out and be unavailable in the Big 12 tournament. McGurl, nope. Mayween with a foul. Back in the possession of Loyola Chicago. 25-16, Kansas State Stars 6. Loyola Chicago on a run. Let's take a look at the Infinity Coaches Spotlight. Porter Moser played at Creighton. Missouri Valley Conference champions back then in the late 80s. Only player to ever win MVC titles and as a player and a coach. And they won the regular season and the tournament championship. 7th season at Loyola Chicago. A program builder, had stops at Arkansas, Little Rock, success there. Illinois State, was fired from that job. And this is his redemption tour after 4 years as an assistant under Rick Majerus at St. Louis. And he has built this program from the dirt. And Chris doing a lot of it going to Chicago area and Illinois recruits.
Well, he better, because Chicago and the Midwest have some of the best players in the country, and I know he's going to be on his Loyola team right now, because if they just took care of the ball, that's their 5th turnover. Right now, Kansas State has 10 points just off turnovers. Loyola, they have 16 points in the paint. That matches Kansas State total point production.
Kansas State down 9. Here's Barry Brown. He's got a smooth-looking stroke.
Off the turnover again, 12 points. All but 6 of K-State's points have come off turnovers. Can Loyola take care of the ball? They have great ball handlers, so it's just up to them to execute.
That's Kansas State's game, though. One of the great defensive teams in the country this year. Going through the Big 12, they were picked 8th in the Big 12. They hang their hat on their defense. Towns will step into one, long 2, no, and here comes Brown out of the pack.
Love the fact that K-State went small. That means that they had to trust that the big fella would not be in their Krutwig, and now can they dominate in the paint without the big fella inside.
Loyola Chicago got off to a fast start. They led by 12 early. McGurl, nice dish and a foul.
Sides on the bench, Krutwig on the bench. You have to attack Barry Brown, the defensive leader of this K-State team, off of another turnover, 2 dribbles, pop-up. for K-State.
Levi Stockard was fouled. He'll go to the line. Brown coming off a 13-point game, including the game winner against Kentucky, a layup. Well, coverage of the NCAA Division I Women's Basketball Championship Regional Finals begins tomorrow. It'll be at noon on ESPN and then ESPN app. For more information on game times and listings, go to ncaa.com. Levi Stockard fouled out of Thursday's Sweet 16 matchup against Kentucky. Had a couple of points in 5 minutes. Didn't get to the line much this year. Only 18 tries all season. Hits 1 out of 2. It's a 6-point Loyola Chicago lead.
Though Loyola has the win, it does not feel like they are playing in control of rhythm. They have to get their game going, not causing or not giving up the ball with turnovers.
There's Jackson. He's got a lot of tools down there. And Jackson, he's listed at 6'5", Chris. Maybe more like 6'4", but he is strong in the paint.
Well, I'll tell you what, it doesn't matter his size. If he has spin moves like that in the post and can use his shoulder to get a little bit of space, great move inside.
Jackson from Texas, Kennedale in the Dallas area. It was a JUCO entry for Loyola Chicago. That's a foul on the way to the basket, and count that. Barry Brown gets to the hole as he does so well. And a chance at a 3-point play for Kansas State.
Kansas State is going to use the pick and roll and penetration, and he better major in English, because that was a nice move using the glass and that spin to get a little love from the rim.
Ingram will sit. Looks like Bruce Weber will counter as well with Ingram on the bench. Stockard coming out. Adam Wainwright getting some minutes now with Ingram on the bench for Loyola Chicago.
I think we're officially to 10 guards or 10 forwards
guards
on the floor, however you want it. Small ball.
It's guards, man.
Oh, I love it. I love it. I love it. Ball handling and penetration and shooting.
For the little guy, Bill Raftery. They're all out here tonight. Kansas State on a 15-8 run. Here's Williamson. Too strong. Battling for the board. Kept alive by Jackson. Custer to Towns. Wow. Woo. That was athletic. Can't finish it though. Kansas State can keep it going. McGurl. Good ball movement. Snead's had the hot hand. Now Brown, and he is fouled. I think, talking to Bruce Weber, he may have found something in that last game against Kentucky with 3 players fouling out, all front court players. He had to go small, and he liked the rhythm of his offense when they went small.
I love the fact you go small. Right now, Krutwig only averages about 4 rebounds, 3.5 in the NCAA tournament. So therefore, he's really not that dominant inside, and you can tell your guards rebound by committee. If you can do that, then you have the advantage on the other side with speed, pace, using your pump fake to get a quick penetration to the hoop.
Jackson picked up his second foul for Loyola Chicago. Back in the game is Ingram now, who is, by the way, the tallest player on the floor at 6'6". Snead pulls a 3. Williamson clears. Loyola Chicago started hot. 11 out of their first 14. Oh. Towns. Crafty with the ball. Almost turned it over.
Ingram has an advantage inside. He was asking for the ball. Custer didn't see him.
He's got Wainwright on him. High screen, he'll use it. Custer trying to turn the corner. Cannot. Shot clock at 4. Custer looking for help. Gets it. Williamson. Foul. Count it. They're almost at their best when you sense desperation, making Kansas State play 26, 27 seconds of defense.
If we would have saw the penetration by Custer, it may look like hero ball because he was dribbling, looked like he was getting a shot for himself. What's up, students at the Student Center? We know you're hype back there. But Custer went inside looking for the shot, and you have to follow him. Do not stand still on the perimeter. Follow that line of guy that into that line of sight into the paint. He'll find you. Nice sand one.
Here's one of those Chicago area products here. Lucas Williamson from Whitney Young High School. 6'4" freshman knocks down the free throw, caps off a 3-point trip. And now mark the score as Krutwig will re-enter. Another freshman from the Chicago suburb of Algonquin. Good minutes there for Williamson.
K-State may want to put Krutwig in the pick and roll and get him outside of the paint so that the guards will have open lanes to the bucket.
It's almost like these coaches are watching each other, matching personnel on the floor. That foul was on the floor before the basket.
That's exactly what K-State did that time. They brought Krutwig up. If you bring him up, it's so tough for big fellas to move laterally. It's not his fault. He's playing well. If you come over, then the guard has that penetration. He has to get back into the play, but it's too late.
Cameron Satterwhite called for the foul. His first minutes on the floor. Played 6 minutes on Thursday against Nevada. That was a 69-68 win for Loyola Chicago. A grind amount affair. Snead nowhere to go with it. Shot clock down to 5. Stokes had it poked free. Got to get one up on the rim. Does so. Krutwig wrestles the rebound away. Towns running a point with Custer on the bench. Krutwig looking for some room. Big Levi Stockard is on, banging, swapping some paint. Comes up short. Stokes. Here's Snead now. And again, Ingram got a hand on that one. A couple of Ramblers running the floor.
Defense by the perimeter.
Ingram calling for the ball. He's got the mismatch inside, but instead, Richardson misses the 3.
Again, the only team that I've seen with a flare screen in all the games that we've done in the NCAA. That's why Loyola gets open shots and one of the best at getting open shots for their players. The big fella coming up high, flare screen, then dive into the hole.
Under 3 minutes to go in the first half. The South Regional Final. And Richardson's going to be hit for the foul. He and Barry Brown Jr. colliding. Kansas State ball when we come back. Cinderella stories both. Missouri Valley, Big 12 for a trip to the Final Four. So look at our game summary. Loyola Chicago by 8 and getting a lot of action in the paint to start this game against Kansas State.
Well, you said it earlier, B.A. I mean, when you look at it, all 13 of their field goals have been from the paint or the three-point line. Now look at this. This is a flare screen. You're going to see Richardson right here. He's going to pass the ball, get rid of it, but Krutwig is going to give him a screen. Look at this screen. You're going to get a wide open shot. Yeah, he missed it. So what? It doesn't matter if you miss it. It matters if you get the play that you want. The next time the big fellow has to come up, Krutwig can dive, and you'll have 2 options on that play. But man, getting some open shots, that's what Loyola's doing.
And you know, Sister Jean approves of that flare screen.
She called the play.
One of the stars of this NCAA tournament, Sister Jean, 98 years of age. Still lives on campus in the dorms there at Loyola Chicago. Coming out of the timeout, Brown cannot hit. So Loyola Chicago with an 8-point lead, trying to push it back to double digits now. Had a 12-point lead earlier. They got off to a quick burst against Kansas State. Kansas State has not come back from a 10-point or more deficit all season. They are 0-8, by the way. So they're going to have to do something tonight they haven't done all year if they're going to the Final Four. Krutwig backs his man down, draws the foul. Chance at a 3-point play with Mayween on the bench.
Yeah, Krutwig, don't let anyone tell you you don't have game. That looks a lot like the slippery eel, or way to use that big rear end like Chuck Charles Barkley there in the studio. That's what you got to do. Make him pay inside, big fella. Good move. And I love that he went to his right hand that time. The reason why that worked is because the defense said, oh, he's not going to go right. He came right, went all the way in, swooped through his left. Good adjustment.
Played only 13 minutes. He did score 8 points. Most of those came early against Nevada, but Krutwig's got to feel like he's more a part of it in this Elite Eight matchup. They took him out of it with foul trouble on Thursday in the Sweet 16. He's in there now. Freshman of the year in the Missouri Valley Conference. Custer back on the floor, and now Barry Brown gets the friendly roll. Brown is so good going to the basket.
Kansas State at halftime needs to make this adjustment. Go to the pick and roll every time with Krutwig. That's the only way you can take him out of the game.
Porter Moser saw something. He calls a quick timeout. Brown had the layup on that side of the rim to beat Kentucky. Got another one on the board. Barry Brown has scored 7 of the last 8 for Kansas State. Kansas State goes from that 9 seed, had an opening win, went wire to wire against Creighton in round 1, and then they were the villain, taking out the 16 seed UMBC. Custer, three-pointer short. McGurl lost it out of bounds. He was up there but couldn't wrestle it home, and that'll stay in the possession of the Ramblers.
Russ Krutwig, 5 rebounds already, and how about this? He has 2 fouls on the big man-made wing, 2 fouls on the stockyard, and this is what's crazy. Now he has Love the third on him. This is what you want to do inside. Impose your will. Make sure you take it out on the rest of the team. Wear him down.
High shooting percentage right now for Loyola Chicago. That is their bread and butter. 58+% already. And Krutwig's got it deep, and he misses.
Oh, that looked like a goaltending.
Up ahead, Brown lost the handle and steps on the baseline. It's going the other way. You thought that one was down on Krutwig?
Yeah, that last play, I thought that was good. I thought that a K-State player actually blocked it after it tipped the glass right there. Of course, you can't review it, but if you're Krutwig, it doesn't matter. Keep imposing your will inside. Here's a look. Looked like maybe he got a piece, he didn't, but Krutwig says, I don't care if he did. Give it to me again. He wants to knock it down.
He's usually the one man in the middle. They go 4 out. Both of these teams do. A lot of room to work inside the paint. Most of their points coming in the paint tonight, as they usually do. Here's Richardson using his body. It was blocked. He lost the handle, but it ends up right into the hands of Williamson. Now a turnover. Here's Snead up front. Loyola Chicago gets back well. Couldn't quite get the handle, Snead. Under a minute to go. Barry Brown splits a double team, and it's blocked. Stokes passed up a 3. Shot clock never reset, didn't hit the rim. Now Stokes with 7 on the clock. Ingram the rebound. A little over 8 seconds separating shot clock and game clock.
Watch the 2-man pick and roll between Ingram and Custer, or Custer and Richardson. They really like to penetrate, make the guard switch, look for the corner's baseline where they can pump fake or either shoot that shot and knock it down.
Krutwig. Now Custer. In the corner, Richardson. Yes! Ben Richardson, what a half. He's got 11. Clock ticks. Brown lost the handle. Turnover. And Loyola Chicago can take it to the end of the first half. Biggest lead of the game, matches their 12-point lead early. Damon Student Center is on point. Don't forget, coming up at AT&T at the half, Greg Clark, Kenny Charles. They'll have first half analysis. We'll preview all that's going on here. Custer's shot comes up short. That is a great half for Loyola Chicago, and they're 22-0 this year when they lead at the half coming in. They've won 25 in a row when they lead at the half, going back to last season. Kansas State back to the drawing board. Well, the 11 seed Loyola Chicago, their fans starting to feel it. Got 20 minutes of basketball to play and a 12-point lead. Brian Anderson, Chris Webber, and it is something to watch. You know, you start wondering what gives with Loyola Chicago. It is their efficiency, both offensively and defensively. It's a beautiful game of basketball they play.
It is. They're getting the ball to everyone. 6 turnovers, the only blemish on that record right there. But this is how they get to the paint. Penetration, and the big fella inside responsible for 5 fouls on the big fellas of K-State. Using their will inside. Krutwig.
Take a look at the first half stats powered by Google Cloud. A reminder to go to ncaa.com/bracketiq for more. It's the 56% from the field, the Ramblers of Loyola Chicago. And by the way, this is the most first half points allowed by K-State in this tournament. First time they've given up more than 30 or more points in a half. This is a team in Kansas State, Chris, that hangs their hat on their defense. But like the guys we're talking about at half, where's their offense coming from? There has to be some adjustments there, you think?
Well, defense really does not matter if you're only going to get your points off of defense. K-State needs to speed the pace up, even though that's not their style, and put Krutwig in the pick and roll. You can't just rely on your D against the 4 ball handlers and the big fella of Loyola.
Lisa Byington has a report from the K-State locker room.
Yeah, the biggest news out of the K-State locker room, as you said, Bruce Weber telling me Dean Wade is out for the rest of the game. He told me I couldn't, out of good conscience, play him when he's got maybe a future of basketball ahead of him. So don't expect to see Dean Wade. Obviously, that is significant with K-State in a little bit of foul trouble. You guys were talking about offensive adjustments. We'll see here on this first possession. They got to move it, is what Bruce Weber said. The physicality really kind of rubbed them off in their possessions in the first half. He said, we got to move it side to side to make their physicality and their big bodies move as well.
I agree with Lisa. It's just easier to move when you make the big fella have to check a guard.
And here's Stokes for three. Inside out they go, but he cannot connect on the three-pointer. And a chance for Loyola Chicago to take their biggest lead of the game. They got up 12 early and then wrestled it back to 12 right before half. Custer sets up Richardson. Richardson had a big half. 11 in the first half. Richardson made 3 threes. Dante Ingram, he'll pull, and he hits.
Ingram has to be more aggressive. He's one of their most skilled players right there.
They're going to take a look at that at the first opportunity to gauge whether it was a 2 or a 3. Scored as a 3 to start.
A lot of time on offense will have guys make cuts and just run to the side. That's still not offense. You have to cut with the purpose. Let's see if Mayween takes advantage of having a little bit of space.
So they're daring Mayween to shoot that mid-range, and he dribbled his way right into a very difficult shot with Krutwig on him. Now Ingram pushes. Towns stops, and he skidded across the floor. And a travel on Marcus Towns. We'll take a quick peek here whether he was behind the line or not. He's got some fly shoes. And he clearly shows he's behind the line.
Yeah, thank God for all those colors. We can see the separation right there. The K-State, they have to switch up. The best coaches, the best players can switch it up, can make changes to their game on the fly right now. K-State has to realize this is not working. They got to move the ball and get back into the pick and roll. Put the big fella in the pick and roll.
Barry Brown is their best offensive player, averaging over 16 a game with Dean Wade out. They lose their top scorer in Wade. Here's Jada for 3.
See what happens? Wide open shot. Whenever you draw 2, that means your team has the advantage. Instead, what do? Dribble out and point around and think you're going to just beat 4 guys one-on-one? No, use the big fella, make him get into the defense. And this is their first points. This is Jada's first points of the game.
Jada scored just 5 points. Did have a couple assists in that win over Kentucky. He was excellent defensively. Here's Ingram, and Ingram scores. A little turnaround. Even when there is no space, it would appear. Loyola Chicago dribbling their way into some space. They've got the stop dribbles, the quick stops, the spins. This is a very good, fundamentally sound team. Ingram's going to be charged for the foul on the trip.
Oh, wow. Looks like hit his head that play. And this time, Ingram goes away from the pick and roll. He could pass it back out as Mayween helps, but he has the shot inside. The pick and roll is the best play in basketball because it makes 2 guard 1. And out here in the guards game, Brown right here splitting the pick and roll, getting the foul on the big fella. Oh.
He took the knee of,
of
Ben Richardson to the back of the head. Man. Brown camping out above the 3-point line, top of your screen. Here's Jada. Comes up short. Mayween is fouled by Custer.
Again, you have defensive players out of place. As offensive players, you must think it through. If Krutwig is out, that means your team. Krutwig is out, you can rebound. Krutwig is out, you can hit the offensive boards. And also, the guards can go by faster. Make him guard both players.
That's what Nevada did early. Got Krutwig in some foul trouble. Here's Jada. He's a flyer. Jada. Wow, that's a strong basket. Hanging in the air, absorbing the contact.
Pick and roll.
5 points for Jada. Start wondering where the offense is going to come for Kansas State. There's a reason why they have not been able to win a game when they've been down by double digits. Richardson foul, and he hits it! And a chance at a 4-point play.
We illustrated this play earlier to tell young kids that there's many options off of this play. This is a flare by Krutwig. Remember earlier in the game, they missed the shot. Well, look, he catches it off the flare, hands off. So many options off of a play of getting your man wide open. I love the offensive IQ of Loyola. They recognize when they have a mismatch, or more importantly, they recognize each other's strengths and then try to put guys in a position to be successful.
Ben Richardson, 15 points, a 4-point trip down the floor. Richardson was 1 for 9 from behind the arc entering this game here tonight. Richardson 4 out of 5 from three-point range. Jada's been the hot hand. Jada going again, and he's fouled. That's a good option right now for Kansas State. He has been the aggressor, one of the few, and Jada will head to the free throw line.
Jada using his body and positioning to try to get it himself. Oh, a great job by Richardson, staying vertical that playbook. A little bit of body up under.
Redshirt freshman out of Florence, South Carolina. ACL tear last year, took a redshirt year. Only been playing organized basketball for 4 seasons as he arrives to this Elite Eight game. Who delivered the Buick expectation-shattering performance of the day? Tune in to Inside March Madness, presented by Buick, and find out. The crowd chanting LUC, Loyola University, Chicago. And they're starting to feel it. You kind of get away when you watch the Ramblers play. You get away from the narrative of the Cinderella, the 11 seed, the team coming out of the mid-major. They're good, and they've been fantastic in this tournament when the lights are bright.
You're right, B.A., and that's why I'm glad we're not worried about the seed. We're just watching some really good basketball and an offensive team that's really executing.
Custer can at the 3, was set up by his childhood friend. And now Jada again, no, ball's in the air. And it goes for Sneed. Sneed was flying high and got one off the glass.
K-State has to push the pace. Look at that. That was their first layup attempt in the fast break. And because Krutwig was running down with the ball, you get a tip in. They have to speed up the pace.
Loyola Chicago has led most of this game as Krutwig on the catch and the finish. Beautiful pass, Towns. Carving Kansas State up. And this is a very good defensive team. All teams in the Big 12 will tell you that.
Krutwig just looked to the side and told his coach, I need a blow. I think his coach just ignored him on purpose, like we can rest on our way to the Final Four, baby.
He's got Andre Jackson queued up. Mike McGurl set to check in as well with the shot clock at 6. Barry Brown.
See, why couldn't you just have a screen up top and do the same thing? The one-on-one ball doesn't work. These aren't professional players. They don't have wetters like that. So until then, you have to use other players, draw 2, kick it to the open man.
Jada checks Custer. Custer gets it to Krutwig here. Next whistle, he'll be coming out. And Sneed with a foul. Got him on the arm. Sneed thought it was clean. That's going to send us to a timeout. Krutwig, he's on his way out, but he's been an impact player, the big man, the freshman.
Be a shooter. Be a shooter. Come here. What you want to do?
I gotta play defense, guys. Let's go.
He liked that shot. He ain't got to put it on the ground or nothing. He can just go to work.
Father Xavier Sneed, Anthony Sneed, and Anthony Sneed knows that X Nation is probably their best bet to fight their way back into this game. He is a three-point threat, a dynamic scorer when he's right. He has 10 thus far. Kansas State's going to need to find some offense quickly. 15:02 remaining. 47-33. Loyola Chicago shooting it at a 59% clip right now. Ramblers with the ball. Richardson looking for Jackson. Nothing there. Here's Custer. The catch. The shoot. It's good. Clayton Custer on the assist from Richardson.
It looked like Klay Thompson coming around that corner right there. All through the coaching and the system coming around, already ready to shoot, knowing that that was his play at the top of the key.
Biggest lead of the game at 17. Kansas State in big trouble. There's a lot of time left, but if something doesn't change quickly, they're in trouble. Miss. Richardson the rebound. Loyola Chicago, supremely confident. All teams are at this level when you get to the Elite Eight. And look at Ingram with the left hand. His strong hand. Timeout. Loyola Chicago out of the Missouri Valley Conference. Their 5th season in the Valley. And how about building their program back? It was a proud program. National championship 1963, 2013, their first year in the Valley. Milton Doyle was a big piece of that. They won the CBI, Chris, in 2015. And then Custer transfers in. Marcus Towns transfers in 2017. A guy who had NCAA tournament experience. And this build is all coming together all at the same time on the big stage of the NCAA tournament.
That's why you work hard when no one is looking. They say character is built when you don't have a lot of people watching. That's what these young men have done. Put the work in the gym, and now everybody thinks it's an upset, and they say, nah, we planned for this.
And it brings a significant spotlight to a very proud and important team, that 63 national championship team, Loyola Chicago. Shot clock to 2. Mayween is stuck, rattles in and out. Richardson, bullet pass inside to Jackson. Look at this. Loyola Chicago is up 21. 32 of the 54 points coming in the paint.
How about that? Kansas State only has 33. Think Loyola wants it? You think they're deliberate?
McGurl. The run continues. It's 9-0 currently. Loyola Chicago went on a 9-2 run to close the half.
Keep the pace if you're Loyola. You cannot afford to scoreboard watch or start slowing it down. You must play your game, not just for this game, but if you're fortunate to make it to the next one, play with rhythm.
Turnover, Ingram's pass too hot. Here's Barry Brown, and Brown scores, and a much-needed basket for Kansas State.
And that's my only question. If you're one of the best defensive teams in the country, why do you get stops and no fast break points right there? Wow, just 4 fast break points tonight by K-State, getting so many stops.
Kansas State has 17 points off turnovers. It's what has gotten them to 35. Where would be without it? A sneak kicks it out of bounds, and the frustration is starting to show. Well, that look says it all. You start getting into the position now, and you know the clock's ticking against you, right, if you're Kansas State. And then we've seen it so many times. You try to do too much. You try to hit the 9-point three-pointer,
yes,
right? And
yes.
you got to play it the right way.
It's crazy, babe, because you're right. You don't want that. But then again, you need an alpha player to step up and kind of take a couple of risks. As you see, out of the box again for the coach. Thought maybe it was a 10-second warning, but
that'll be a warning. Terry Weimer, I mean, that is by design, I'm sure.
Yes.
Bruce Weber, he is trying to let his team knows he is engaged in this, and they need to do the same. They are shell-shocked right now.
This is when you need blinders on, when you just need to listen to the game plan. Don't even look at the scoreboard. Continue to work with pace and see what happens in about 5-6 minutes if you're K-State.
And now McGurl fouls Custer. Bruce Weber, palms in the air, jaw dropped. They should be. Loyola Chicago on a roll. Look at our game summary. Loyola Chicago up 54-35, 63% field goal shooting now. 30 of those points coming in the paint. It has been a Ramblers rise up for sure. What an impressive showing. It'll be Loyola Chicago ball.
If you're K-State, you've already beat the odds by being here. Let it go. Play your game. That looks like that's off Richardson's leg. You get a turnover. Now, right now, can you put 2 or 3 together? So anyone that's been in basketball practice, you already know. By the 7-minute mark, you're hoping to get this lead down to about 12. If you can do that, anything is possible, but you must do the little things. You can't score 18 points on one bucket. Get your other teammates involved. Do it methodically.
Got Mike McGurl on the floor as well as Wainwright. All guards on the floor right now for Bruce Weber, who was steaming mad during that last timeout. Slammed his clipboard and all as McGurl goes to the rack. Count that. 3-point chance coming up for Mike McGurl as we send it over to Lisa Byington.
Yeah, that's a perfect description, Brian, about his huddle. He almost broke his whiteboard, and sometimes with coaches and in moments like this, it's not about the X's and O's, it's about the emotion. He looked at his players in the huddle and he said 3 times, do not quit. Think of how we got here, the number of people who are depending on you, the number of people who are watching you. You attack Loyola or we're all going home.
Coach is so right. Everything is perspective, how you look at it. And that's all right, Coach. You got a budget. Break that thing. Just don't hit one of your players by mistake. Oh, man, but these guys, it's so hard when everything's going against you for you to take a deep breath and say, this is where we are. Yeah, we're down big, but we have heart and we can come back.
Very familiar name, basketball fans in Illinois, of course. Bruce Weber was at Southern Illinois in the Missouri Valley Conference, and then his run at the University of Illinois, the Fighting Illini, made it to the national championship game, 2005. He's trying to figure out a way to get some offense. Richardson for 3, nothing but the bottom.
I gotta get him. It's like a band. You gotta get a drummer some love. I gotta get a big fella some love. Krutwig. That's because big fella took his time, made the pass, hockey assist, 3 in the corner.
Richardson all the way in, gives it up. Towns got it to go, and it's all going for Loyola Chicago. Even a breakaway layup comes with an assist. 15 helpers on 24 made field goals. Krutwig again pulls the rebound down. It was kept alive by Towns. What a performance we are witnessing here. Loyola Chicago. Efficiency to die for. Both ends of the floor. Gives it right back. Krutwig. Custer to Towns. Looking for the big man. Mayween dares him to shoot. Misses a little mid-range. They don't shoot many of those. Krutwig is the one guy who will shoot it from the mid-range. There's Jada. Athletic move. Krutwig kept it alive for Towns.
You can tell K-State is not used to playing when they're down. Of course, they've lost games this year. But when you're a defensive team and you do not put enough stock in your offense, when you get down, the only thing you think you can come back on is steals and trying to get some tough ones, not executing offensively, which is what you have to do.
Williamson all the way in, goes to the reverse. Lucas Williamson, his freshman compadre, Krutwig, created the space for him. Brown gets some space and separation. No. Richardson the board. He's wanting to push it a little bit. Richardson to the corner. Towns couldn't get the handle. That'll be out of bounds off of Towns. That'll be Kansas State basketball.
This pass was from Krutwig, getting it to his main man Towns, who gets it to Richardson in the corner. The pick and roll, the IQ. Oh, man. And just the players celebrating on the side. But Loyola, I'm very impressed that they are keeping up the pace and they're playing this way. They are not looking at the scoreboard saying we made it. They're trying to play and earn their way and dominate their way into the Final Four.
Krutwig will sit along with Towns.
You know, as a guy that was recruited by all the top schools in the country, it's so fun to watch teams like Loyola, teams like K-State get their day in court, because you play with guys that play on these teams, and you see Johnny try to get another one. These are the teammates of some of the best players.
Custer running the floor. Custer misses the layup. McGurl was right there with him. That's a a great point. Both of these teams play with the chip on the shoulder.
Yes.
I mean, there's no doubt about it. And you get to this level, not only do you have the chip, as Brown cuts to the basket, good pass there by Wainwright. Not only do you have the chip, but then you have the confidence to go with it because you've won 3 games in the NCAA tournament. You've gone dragon slaying to get here.
That's right. I like that. You've gone dragon slaying together, baby.
You think about who Loyola Chicago has beaten this year. They took down Miami and Tennessee in this tournament. They beat Florida earlier this year. And the Ramblers coming into this game tonight, 13 consecutive wins. Chris, they've lost once since January 7th.
Can't tell you how many guys I know that have played in the Missouri Valley Conference, Mid-American Conference, all type of conferences, and said we're just as good as those Power 5 teams. Well, today, these 2 teams being on the court at 9 and 11 proves it, and Loyola is really trying to prove it by getting to the Final Four and winning some more games.
Here's Ingram, he'll pull a 3. And Jota with a rebound. Got to give a lot of credit to Commissioner of the Valley, the Missouri Valley Conference Commissioner for over 30 years. Doug Elgin continues to reinvent this conference. The rough and tumble valley dating back 100 years. Year 5 for Loyola Chicago. They're on the doorstep of a Final Four. The road to the Final Four coming up the home stretch. Final Four will be on TBS this year from San Antonio, Texas in the Alamo Dome. Don't forget, coming up next, Florida State and Michigan here on TBS. And Chris, how about Ben Richardson, 18 points. He's made 5 3-pointers.
I tell you, it's him and Custer up top. These two, their 2-man game is something special. And you got the big fella looking for you, setting screens, making it a little bit easier. He says, thank you. That's why I work on these in practice. I could knock him down all day.
It's a season high for Richardson. His career best is 22. These 2 guys, they've known each other since the 3rd grade, high school teammates. And there's a 3rd guy who was on that high school team on the Kansas State team, and Mason Schoen as well. Imagine,
so you're
3 players.
You're saying that they're doing him a favor by beating his team so bad that they want him to get in the game tonight?
That's right.
That's a
good point.
That's
that
a lot
happen.
of thinking, man.
They have 3 players on the floor who all played on the same state championship high school team in Kansas, Overland Park.
That'd be cool.
And the drought continues for Kansas State. 30 rebounds for Loyola Chicago. They are plus 11. And it's not like they bring out a lot of size on the floor either. They've got 30 rebounds, 4 offensive as Custer is dropped. And there's Ed Fritz, high school head basketball coach for Clayton Custer and Ben Richardson, Blue Valley Northwest in Overland Park, Kansas.
Coach should be proud. The best players out here on the floor today were given a great education by their high school coaches and middle school coaches that set the foundation. Both coaches over there enjoying this moment.
Richardson went to Loyola Chicago right out of high school. Custer went to Iowa State, then transferred in. And for more, we have Lisa Byington standing by.
Yeah,
Lisa.
well, I talked to Coach Fritz, and he said the impact of especially Custer and Richardson can be felt all the way back at Overland Park. He says he sees some of the students now come in before classes or take extra time in the gym to get shots up. He hears some of those players and those students saying, Custer for 3, or Richardson, drive to the bucket. He says it's one of the lasting impacts to see the kids who are now come after them to be so positively affected by those 2.
Big 3 by Sneed. Thank you, Lisa. Custer and Richardson 22-1 this year when they are on the floor together. Custer missed a little time with an ankle injury in December. He missed 5 games. Custer will sit. Here's Ingram. Lost the handle. Still fighting with it.
Oh, he came back in bounds that time.
Shot clock at 5. And that hit the backboard. Doesn't reset. Easy enough for McGurl. Stokes gives it right back to McGurl, swings it, and a foul. Williamson closing hard and got a piece of Barry Brown. Now there is one of the great names in Loyola Chicago basketball history, Jerry Harkness. Wow. From that 1963 team. And that is a team, we talked about this a little bit on Thursday, but a very important team to recognize. connecting memorable sports teams with the civil rights movement. The 1966 Texas Western team, as Stokes hits a three, they get a lot of the headlines, but that 63 team paved the way.
Yes.
And that guy right there was the star player. He's hoping to see his Ramblers go back to the Final Four. Well, with a famous handshake, the game of change would happen a little bit later, but this handshake with Jerry Harkness and Joe Dan Gold of Mississippi State. You got to remember, back in this era, there was an unwritten rule among coaches. You couldn't have more than 2 African-American players on the floor at the same time. And that team in '63, they broke that barrier, and they set the stage for the '66 Texas Western team, which started 5 African-American players.
From all of us, Mr. Harkless, we thank you for your sacrifice and all that you've gone through that we'll never know. We love you. We thank you.
Jerry Harkness and Joe Don Golds became great friends.
Yes.
Harkness even attended Joe Don Gold's funeral. That is blocked. Kansas State, this is their time now. Got to get it rolling. Just made a three. Brown lost the handle. What a save by Wainwright. Here's Stokes. Around and out. Cruel result on what would have been a razor for the K-State fans.
The K-State still on the 8-0 run. You have to realize where you are here. You still have the momentum. Try to get the most out of it this last 5:30.
Custer back on the floor, trying to stem that run for Porter Moser. Big defensive possession, and that's a travel. Ingram walks with it, turns it over, and K-State can continue the run.
A ring around the rosy. I mean, wow.
That's 3/4 of the way down.
It's almost like they should have put 3 on the scoreboard, then took it off the scoreboard, because that was in and out right there.
5:19 left. There is time. Again, this is not a dynamic scoring team in Kansas State. They're going to need something extra special. Stokes takes Ingram. Oh, my goodness. How did he finish that? With some hot English off the window.
And we know that K-State can switch their defenses up at any time. Let's see if they go into a trap. They do.
Here's Richardson. Big three. Oh, my! Ben Richardson delivers a huge three-pointer. Stems the tide for now. Stokes is fouled. That was a 10-0 run by Kansas State before Richardson hits the three.
Oh, man, to get the contact, to go up and under in on the other side, but you want to silence a crowd? You could do it with that beautiful layup, but that was just cruel. That was just heartless what this guy does on the other end. This is the middle of a press. Take it out, slow it down. Nah, I work on this in practice. It's good all day.
David Student Center on the campus here in Loyola, Chicago.
No school tomorrow for Loyola.
No.
If you win. I'm making the rule up.
It's Sunday.
Oh, I knew that.
We're all
anyway.
good.
Yeah.
Everything's the same for you.
No school tomorrow.
That would have been a great line on Thursday. Free throws coming here for Stokes. Front end of the 1-and-1 is good for Stokes. Bleacher Report's original animated series Game of Zones is returning for the playoffs. Watch Game of Zones only on the free Bleacher Report app. Kamau Stokes. Everybody catching their breath here. That was a furious run. 10-0 run by Kansas State. Richardson hits the three, gives him 21 now. He's only missed 3 shots all day. Stokes gets a pair. 14-point Loyola Chicago lead. 4:40 remaining in regulation.
Full court trap, 2-2-1. That could switch back into a 1-2-2. We know Kansas State is excellent on the defensive end, and they have heart, and this is where they're showing it.
Pulled the table on him, Wainwright. Krutwig almost fell down. It's another turnover. Big possession for the Wildcats. Boy, got away with a walk there, I think. Jada to the hole. Jada, no. And flying high is Wainwright.
No quit in this team. Back to a 2-2-1. We're going to a 1-2-2 at half court.
Round 2, Nevada was down 22 to Cincinnati. They came back and won. Kansas State trying to pull a miracle like that here in Atlanta in the Elite Eight. Custer, the point guard, directing traffic. The freshman Williamson, now a foul underneath. Kansas State has all guards on the floor and a foul on Krutwig. Look at this follow and finish by Wainwright. Kansas State They got a puncher's chance. Bigger rap battles, bigger burns. Method Man and Haley Baldwin host the TBS original series Drop the Mic. All new April 15th on TBS. Kansas State, 4 minutes, 45 seconds to go on the game clock. We're down 23 points. It was 61-38. Chris, K-State on a 14-3 run. They've cut it to 12. How?
They've sped the game up. They've used their defense to get easy buckets. It's so hard to score against a set defense. We even saw the last play, a missed layup on the fast break, but what happens? Wide open man to tip it in. Loyola, only one made field goal in the last 6 minutes.
3:54 remaining. Huge possession. They all are the rest of the way. Kansas State trying to fight their way back. A defensive team desperate for a stop. Double team on Custer. Here's Richardson. Shot clock down to 7. And Towns passed up a 3. Got to get one up now. Shot clock's at 2. Custer. Tough shot. Does hit the rim. Wainwright rips down the board. 5 guards on the floor for Kansas State.
See, they're having a little trouble setting up. You should be able to set up on the fly. You don't have to set up, get the point guard in the middle for guys to cut, pick, and pass. The same thing they would do.
Wainwright for 3. Comes up short.
You still got to cut. Like, this team has not been taught how to play fast. So right now they're having a problem getting back in the game. When you get in trouble, screen and cut and see if there's an open man while the ball handler penetrates.
Towns trying to get by John. It does so. Towns going in and can't get it on the window. He's fouled on his way in. As we send it over to Lisa Byington.
We're under 4 minutes, and in that last timeout, Porter Moser told his team, put up 4 fingers, guys. It's something that they've done all season long. A reminder of closing the deal in the last 4 minutes. And remember, the last 4 minutes, the last minute, frankly, of the NCAA tournament has been Loyola's time. That shot clock, near shot clock violation, you're going to see probably more of those long possessions. He's encouraging his team to keep it, but be smart with the basketball. Value it, is what he told them finally before they broke out of that huddle.
Such a fine balance. Take your time, be patient, value the basketball, but don't fall into the hand of the trap, which means taking a terrible shot with 5 seconds left, letting the other team get down. Such an important balance, but Loyola seems like they've been coached up for it.
Loyola Chicago is a team that is comfortable with their guards. And on the floor right now, there are 10 guards. Home stretch. 14-point Loyola Chicago lead. Stokes, bullet pass, McGurl gives it right back. Brown with a shot fake, and Brown in and out it goes. Keeping it alive, it is Towns who wrestles down the rebound. See if Loyola Chicago wants to push it a little bit. And now Towns on the take. Towns goes, and the block. Count the basket.
That's exactly what I mean. You don't take that ball and dribble that out. You don't take points off the scoreboard. If you're being pressed, you make them pay. No stupid shots, no silly turnovers, but stay in attack mode because you want to go to the Final Four. It's not coming to you. You got to go take it.
Marcus Towns, who hit the dagger 3 in their win against Nevada Thursday, in the double digits now. Towns scored 18 against Nevada with 5 assists. 69-52, 17-point lead. Loyola Chicago answering a flurry by Kansas State. It's going to be a foul on Williamson.
I love it when coaches get so upset they can't say anything but the player's name.
He's a freshman. Says that was a freshman move. You're playing great. Don't do that again.
I just saw Coach grow 4 new gray hairs on the top of his head after that play.
Grow 4 new gray ones, lose 2 more.
Oh yeah, it's all fun though. I'm sure I've given the coaches 1,000 of them, but wow, coaches right now earning their stripes, encouraging their kids to follow through.
Porter Moser is so connected to Rick Majerus. Rick Majerus passed away in 2012. Porter Moser called the number, the old number that Rick had on the cell phone, just so he could call that number and have that name pop up again as he started this Sweet 16 and into the Elite Eight. It's a beautiful story of a man who felt like things went wrong at Illinois State. He became a better coach by being an assistant with Rick Majerus, and he's got his team playing beautiful basketball right now. Stokes hits 2 free throws.
And you think about the kids there. I grew up in the Midwest, growing up loving those great Michigan teams, that great '89 Illinois team, the DePaul teams. But now, my nephews, younger kids, they're going to grow up knowing the name Loyola, and that's really cool if you're a Chicago fan.
2.5 to go. Towns with the ball, pushes it up ahead. Here's Custer, able to break the press with all those ball handlers, and now, oh, it was tipped, they're saying. A break for Loyola Chicago. A team in Loyola Chicago that has 3 game winners or dagger shots under 10 seconds the first 3 games of this tournament. Now a turnover. Ingram gives it away. Setting up Brown, who has fouled hard. 15-point game, 2:07. You see a tip? Yeah,
definitely was a tip there. K-State, I know that they are one of the best in the country. You don't even have to know the stat. Just watch them play. When it comes to getting deflections, they aren't done yet. It's just that when they get the turnover, it seems that they cannot play without having a play called to get a player an open shot. Just like on that last fast break point. It's like they couldn't get a guy the ball to get him a look where he likes to.
Brown hits the front end of the 1-and-1. I don't think Bruce Weber wanted Stokes back in. Not sure. He did not like that Stokes went in on his own. Wainwright is out. Again, if you're just watching this game, you see these 5 guards on the floor for Kansas State. This is not something they did all year, but they had to do it because of foul trouble and DQs against Kentucky's. And they've lost their best scorer in Dean Wade as well. That's a big loss. Got to play the foul game at this point, try to extend it as best they can.
They didn't play this slow against Kentucky. They attacked the bigs. They drove and kicked it to each other for shots. You have to give Loyola some defense some credit for throwing K-State off their game offensively.
1-and-1 here for Ben Richardson. He is a point away from matching his career best. Wow, look at that shooting tonight by Loyola Chicago, nearly 51% from the field. 22 for Ben Richardson.
And their shooting isn't great just because they have shooters. Much like Golden State, everyone loves talking about them. It's the screens that Curry sets. It's the screen that Custer sets. It's the screens that Crutwitz set to get open shots, open looks for their teammates.
Career high for Richardson, 23 points, 7 of 10 shooting, 6 of 7 from behind the 3-point arc, and he hasn't missed a free throw. What a game in the Elite Eight. Stokes gets one in. 71-57. Figure a lot of free throws. Both teams in the bonus. Towns and Brown fouls him. Loyola Chicago with the 31 wins. That is a school record. Won the regular season in the Missouri Valley Conference. Won the Valley Tournament as well.
Hope we get a chance to see those kids again in the Student Center. Wonder if they understand that I just talked to the president of their school and they have no school Monday and Tuesday because it's going to be a parade downtown.
Well, that is exactly
what's not going to happen.
There they are.
No school, they heard me. No school, that's right, fellas. Monday, Tuesday, ladies and gentlemen. No school. Celebrate.
Porter Moser has a picture of Sheridan Road, which goes right down into the campus from the 1963 year, and after that national championship, he keeps that in his office because he wants a reminder every day that he wants to get that kind of parade on Sheridan again in 2018.
It looked like
finish, athletic by Stokes.
Let's just get some Garrett's popcorn and deep dish pizzas and some pop for everybody in that Student Center. They're all going to be able to tell their kids about this one day. I went to Loyola. We were in the Final Four. No one believed in us.
This was last Sunday. The darlings of the Chicagoland area, the Ramblers from Rogers Park.
We sat in there for the watch party.
Porter Moser pulling up in the bus and all those fans gathering outside. That is going to grow exponentially. And you know who's going to be right at the front of that parade? Sister Jean. She is the parade. She's got a bobblehead coming out, by the way.
Can I leave you right now and go get a selfie with her? Like, she's the star of the NCAA. I want to hang out with her.
That's got to be done here. Well, it is a fascinating story. Loyola Chicago, as they're trying to get to the finish line here. 1:16 left. More free throws coming. They have beaten some big teams size-wise in the front court. They beat Miami. That was that Dante Ingram three-pointer with .3 left. And then took down Tennessee. Clayton Custer had the game winner in that one. 3.6 seconds left in that one. And then on Thursday, a grind them out 1-point win over Nevada out of the Mountain West Conference. And here they are, a win away from the Final Four. 2-point win against Miami. 1-point win against Tennessee.
Come on.
And then a 1-point win. So the first 3 victories separated by just 4
buzzer beater,
points.
buzzer beater. And I always believe late in this game, garbage time, whatever you want to call it, even though it's still close, that these free throws and everything mean a lot, especially if your team is winning and going forward. You can continue to get a rhythm. If you haven't played, you can start getting a rhythm, and you need to keep that consistency going into the next game.
Well, as we get to a minute here, as Snead hits a 3. Kansas State is a team that could get right back in the picture next season. It's not their day today. It's an 11-point Loyola Chicago lead. They'll have the ball when we continue. Loyola Chicago is an 11 seed, and they're trying to do something that we have not seen since VCU. Virginia Commonwealth under Shaka Smart in 2011. Trying to reach the Elite Eight and then on to the Final Four. Loyola's first Final Four, 1963, none since. 55 years. Yesterday was the anniversary of the game of change, the championship game, Loyola Chicago over Cincinnati. 55 years ago yesterday.
It'd be so awesome to speak to him, and I'm going to find him, but to ask him, did you know 55 years ago when you were going through the pressure, the turmoil, as they checked the time on the clock, when you were going through that, did you know that you were laying down the foundation? And after I would ask him all those questions, I'd give him a big wet kiss on the cheek and say, thank you very much. And you see it right there.
Yeah, that's the bag. Old TWA logo on there, right? The bag that they carried. Pictures inside that bag. The Loyola Chicago team doctor carries that satchel with him wherever he goes. 55-year-old satchel.
Looks like he can play now.
There's the good doc. Check in with Lisa. She's got more.
Yeah, he got it out of all places online, and he had it in his office. He said, look, I've worked at Loyola for 30 years, so by chance he just brought it with him to the conference tournament. They won. So then he decided to bring it to the NCAA first round. Second round, they won. So, of course, he's got to bring it here for the Sweet 16 and Elite Eight. He called it his version of Sister Jean.
Nice. Good call. Three-pointers just won't go. Snead gets another opportunity. That one misses, and a foul. You know, one thing about that 63 national championship team, a lot of people don't realize that that is the only school from the state of Illinois to win a national championship in basketball. That 1963 Loyola Chicago team. You think Illinois basketball, you grew up in the Midwest, think about all those great teams in the Big Ten, and it's never been done. Only the 63 Ramblers.
And again, as a kid that grew up watching hoops, I'm really excited for this new generation to have new schools offered to them in their sites, in their peripheral. But doesn't just have to be the DePauls or the Illinois or the large colleges. It can now be where you want to go. It can now be you can stay 4 years and have an impact. You don't have to be a triple All-American out of high school. You can pay your dues, stay in this game, and have that look on your face.
Can't believe it.
I can't believe it. We might be going to the Final Four.
Give me some thoughts real quick about Kansas State. Dean Wade, whether he comes back or not, is going to be a major question. But, you know, they've got some players that are returning. They don't have any seniors in their regular rotation.
Oh, I tell you what. If you want an upset alert, well, next year you better believe in this Kansas State team. We've already seen what they've done. Had the most wins since 2012-13. But I'm going to throw all this out the window and say this. The pain on his face right now, Mayween, the experience, the character of that coach right there. Oh, you can bet your bottom dollar that they're going to work harder this summer and come back stronger next year. Yes, I believe in Kansas State, and congratulations to them for such an exceptional year this year.
It's got to be a bit of a redemption tour for Bruce Weber as well. Here's a guy that was let go by Illinois. Since that time, since he started at Kansas State in 2012, as Weber's going to get Brian Patrick in the game. But since that time, he started here at Kansas State, and now in year number 6, 2 NCAA tournaments, 1 Elite Eight game here. Illinois has only been to 1 NCAA tournament in that time as well.
So basically, you're saying that man can coach right there.
He can coach.
And I agree with you. I agree with you. And that's why I believe in the character of these teams and his coaching effort. They just started something in Kansas State. Again, it's going to be fun to watch.
Dean Wade gives their leader, Barry Brown Jr., a big hug. Jara, the girl is out. Kate Kenneman getting on the floor. Mado Sala is a grad senior, number 1 in white. That'll be his last trip. And how about the victory lap for these guys? We're going to see more of them. Porter Moser. Man, that's the kind of hug you're looking for when you come off the floor.
B.A., this is so important that the guys on the bench get in the game. These are the guys that prepare the starters all year long. The unsung heroes, the one that has to run the sprints and do everything, no name in the paper. And if they want to play well, they probably won't play the rest of the way. But this is their moment. And as starters, you love seeing these guys get in.
Big hand for Carson Shanks. Porter Moser's wife, Megan.
The real coach of the team.
Yeah, no doubt. They met while Porter was an assistant coach at Texas A&M. Denzel Valentine's younger brother, Drew, is on the sideline as an assistant coach.
He knows something about some hoop, I'll tell you that.
Schoen on the floor, Mason Schoen, teammates with Richardson and Custer at Blue Valley Northwest. This is something here. Enjoy it. Chicago, you got a Final Four team. The Ramblers of Loyola Chicago headed to San Antonio. That's it.
BA, it has absolutely been an honor to do these games with you of teams no one expected. That we saw their heart, we saw their attention to detail, we saw their basketball IQ, we saw their never say die, we saw the prayers of the faithful. This has been awesome.
The great poet Elwood Blue said it best. They're on a mission from God. Ramblers rise up. They've preached all year, no finish line. And the finish line won't come here in Atlanta at the Elite Eight. Porter Moser, the Missouri Valley Coach of the Year, is taking Loyola Chicago to the Alamo City for the Final Four. 4th 11 seed to reach the Final Four. And the Ramblers will play the winner of Florida State and Michigan. Congratulations to Kansas State. Nothing to hang your head about. Terrific run.
Congratulations.
They took down some big ones as well, including the Big Cats in Big Blue Nation, Kentucky. Wildcats will be back and strong in the Big 12. Soak it up. They're going to cut these nets down. Gary Harkness knows all about this feeling that has not been felt in 55 years at Loyola Chicago. Let's send it to Lisa.
You just looked at me and you looked at your fan base and you said, look at that. What do you see when you look at that?
I see God is good. That's what I see. God has blessed me on my journey. He's blessed his university.
And this group of guys are resilient. So the first, the glory goes to him. The second of all, the journey with these guys, it's an unbelievable group. It's amazing when you believe. I mean, they have believed and believed and believed, and it's awesome to see. I just want to stare at them celebrating.
How did a small Division I school in Chicago get to the Final Four?
It's the accumulation of a lot of people. It's not one person. It's accumulation of a group that is resilient and tough and believes and invested. How much these kids invested? This just didn't happen 2 weeks ago. But it's not one person. It's not one player. It's a collaboration of a lot of tough, high-character people.
What do you think your mentor, Rick Majerus, what do you think your mentor, the late Rick Majerus, would say about this accomplishment?
I've been blessed with two mentors, Tony Baroni and Coach Rick Majerus. And Coach Majerus was, he was adamant. He's like, you got to take this job. You know, he said we were building something there. He goes, you got to take this job. You're from Chicago area, Jesuit school. So I think he'd be happy with the type of kids we got and how we play the game. And that's what he would love about this.
Congrats. Go enjoy.
Thank you.
Bring in the Kansas kids. Ben Richardson, Clayton Custer. Everybody dreams about what you guys are doing right now. To be best friends, to be roommates, to win championships, to get to the Final Four. How does this reality compare to the dream?
I mean, I don't know. I was just telling Clay over there, like, it doesn't even feel real. I can't even put it into words right now. I mean, it's surreal to be able to come out. We had so much support. Like, they all came down. They've been going wild all weekend, and to do this with Clay, you know, after all the hours we put in together, and we believed that we could do something like this, do something really special, because we knew we had such good chemistry and we got such a good group. And you know, everyone would say we're crazy. If we said that this was going to happen, people would call us crazy. But you just got to believe, and you got to believe in all the work that you put in. And we put in so many hours together, and it's paying off.
Clayton, why did crazy work for this team?
Wait, sorry.
I said he called it crazy, so I'm asking, why did crazy work for this team?
I mean, it's because we all believe in each other. I mean, for me and Ben and for everybody, like, we're a bunch of guys that everybody laughed at us when we thought we were going to play Division I basketball. Nobody thought that we could do any of this. I'll tell you a story. In the hotel yesterday, a girl came up and said, hey, can I get a picture with you guys? She goes, here, mister, can you take the picture? She handed the phone to him. And she goes, are you on the team? And I was like, come on, man. But hey, we believe in ourselves, and I know I said Marcus was the best player on the floor last game. Ben Richardson was the best player on the floor tonight.
You certainly were. A career high in points, a career high in threes made. Why was it your night?
I mean, you know, we've been saying the whole tournament, it doesn't really matter who it is, but we got a ton of guys that can go and make shots and have a big game. And the way this team is so unselfish, the ball usually finds the hot hand or the open guy. And so I think, you know, we've shown in this tournament, everyone's had a big night, and the ball has really found that guy. And tonight it just happened to be me. And you know, I was up for the challenge, and I'm grateful for that.
And for the record, I'm going to be mad at Ben for telling that story to the whole world after this.
I had to get him.
Only a few million were listening. Don't worry about it. Thank you, guys. Go enjoy, okay? Brian?
That's great stuff.
I tell you what, BA, if you're a fan and you've been marginalized, hopefully this inspires you. If you've forgotten, hopefully it motivates you if you think people forgot about you. But I tell you what, Custer Richardson, I need a picture with you. I don't care who knows you, who doesn't. You're going to the Final Four, baby. Congratulations.
Amazing. Richardson, the most outstanding player. Richardson, Custer, and Dante Ingram on the All-South Regional team. Always believe in the underdog. They've won 14 in a row. That winning gene. And it's going to San Antonio for the Final Four. For Chris Webber and Lisa Byington and our great crew, I'm Brian Anderson saying so long from Atlanta. Coming up next on TBS, the West Regional Final, Florida State and Michigan. We'll send you to our studio, Capital One Tournament Central, after these messages.